Welcome to yet another video. This video follows the video that you're seeing right now on your right hand side on that link. If you guys haven't seen that video, I would suggest you start there first and come back to this one, because on that video I did the behind the scenes where I showcase how to shoot for a tutorial, and then in this video we're going to be shooting the video clip. We're going to be editing the video clip that I shot from that tutorial. You might have seen these types of edits: text overlay animation in TV adverts, docu-series on perhaps National Geographic, and many more others, including a recent one that I recently watched. I think it's called Number One on the Call Sheets. So it's quite fascinating. I also recently did it as well on a reel that I released. I will also link that. On one segment of the video, the car actually even goes over the text that has been overlaid on the ground. So you're gonna get to see how it is done in this tutorial, where we're just focusing on the editing aspect of things. So let's get into that and then see how it goes. Let's go ahead and bring our project onto our timeline in Premiere Pro. This is where we're starting things. Drag it and drop it there. And then right click on it. Or before we do that, actually, we need to set a marker where I am ducking. This will come in handy once the project is inside of After Effects, of which you will see. Right about there should be fine, I believe. Yeah, right there. Then you're gonna go ahead and right click onto the clip on your timeline once you're ready, and select Replace with After Effects Composition. Now once the project is open in After Effects, let's make sure to close Premiere Pro. Select Undo and close everything. This is for us to work more efficient instead of working whilst another program that we're not using is running in the background. Once everything is closed, come back to After Effects and let's organize. I'm going to create a file called Files. That's a folder. I'm going to be dragging the video clip inside of that file. This is just for organization. Let's go ahead and also rename that to anything you want. For me, it's just editor. And after that, we're done with this chapter. We're moving on to the next. All right, before we get into the crack of things, I'm just gonna explain some not so obvious things. For example, as you can see on my timeline, I have 5 different layers. If you come here on the left, under source name, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to show you guys how to achieve these 5 different layers. The reason is, for example, you see this red text, this red layer here, it belongs to the text layer that you're seeing on the screen. Even when you look on the left hand side, it's written going under. Then where it splits, that's the marker that we placed in Premiere Pro before bringing the project inside of After Effects. So this side, you can see I'm behind the text, and then this side, the text is behind me. I'm also going to show you how to go about doing that and how to place these layers so that, everything functions all right. So this is the project that I've already worked on. We're gonna start with a clean project and build our way up until we have these 5 layers that you're seeing on the timeline. All right, now that we've started a new project that is clean without any layers, what I would like to remind you guys of is, remember this marker that I've placed in Premiere Pro before bringing the project inside of After Effects. There it is, it's still there with us. So there is a reason for that. We're going to be using that as a point where we are going to be doing splits onto some of the layers which is why we will end up having 5 layers on the timeline. But before we get into that, we're going to go ahead and type in our text. In my case, it's going under. And then after doing that, I just select the layer here on the timeline and then press S. When you go on your left hand side, under source name, you will see scale. Then there's this number, 100. I'm going to increase mine to 350 and then press enter, which enlarges our text on the screen. From here, I press and hold Control on my screen, on my keyboard, not screen, and then I will drag the text to the center, and then from there, the time indicator on the timeline, I will move it to where the marker is, right about there. And then I go back to the text, hold Control, and drag the text right about there. That is fine. So that's the point where I am darkening. Go back to the text layer, press S to close scale, and then after that, what you want to do is we want to duplicate the video layer. So there should be 2 of this. You can come to edit and select duplicate, or you can just press Ctrl D. In my case, I'm going to press Ctrl D, and then we have 2 layers. So now in total we have 3 layers. Then from there, you want to select this red one and then come where it says under source name, just drag that layer in between the 2 layers, just like a sandwich. After doing that, you want to split this layer, the red one. You can go to edit and select split, or you can press Ctrl Shift D. And I'm just gonna press Ctrl Shift D. Now the layer has been split. We have 2 layers, as you can see. This one on the left, we want that layer to be at the very top. So we go back under source name, you hold and you drag it to the top. So what this does is, before I dark, the text will be visible and it will be in front of me. However, this side, because the text is hidden by this layer, it's underneath, it won't be visible. But that's not something we need to worry about. Go back to the marker and then select this layer, and then you also need to split this layer. Ctrl Shift D. Once you have split this layer, I shall explain. This is the layer that we are going to be working on, this specific one. We're not going to worry about the other layers anymore. So as you can already see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is how I achieved those 5 layers. Now, how am I going to make sure that the text, this side, appears behind me? Because as you can see right now, there's nothing. But then here, it just pops out of nowhere. I will be showing you that shortly. Okay, so the next thing that's left to do right here is to apply the roto brush onto this layer that we have split from the main video. So what you want to do is double click on it. Once you double click on it, a different layer will appear on the screen next to the main one that we were on before you double clicked anything. So this is the one that we're going to be working on. You can zoom in on to the clip using the scroll wheel of your mouse, and it also depends on the resolution of your video. If you're working on 1080p video, it will be a little bit low resolution perhaps. You can come here and say resolution, you need to set it to full. And then after setting it to full, what you want to do is select rotor brush tool, and then you go in, zoom in slightly, spacebar, hold spacebar whilst you are moving your clip around with your mouse, just like that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and draw a line just around the subject like that. Perfect. And then let's remove this one there. All right. In certain areas, if you realize that the selection wasn't accurate, like right there, for me, as you can see, it didn't select properly right there. What you can do is, in my case, I'll zoom in slightly. Now you hold Alt key on your keyboard, and then you adjust just like that. Let's remove this one, we don't need it really. Oh, press the wrong key there. Let's remove those again. Once I'm happy with that selection, this is how it will basically look. Then I can zoom out again, or you can come here where it says magnification ratio, and I just select fit. So from here you need to scrub through the entire timeline to make sure like the parts of the subject that you want to be selected remain selected, so that it doesn't look any weird. So for just quick reference, I showed you guys like on the previous clip that the text was not appearing because the text layer is at the bottom, but now because we have done that selection, it does appear. But we're still not done. Let's go back to this layer. Like I said, you need to scrub through the entire clip from where it starts here until the end to make sure like the areas of the subject that you want to be selected are always selected throughout. So we're going to go back to the main project that I've already worked on. This is to save time. So when I open the main project that I've already worked on, I'm going to go ahead, double click this. As you can see, in my case, you will see down here it says freeze. I've already froze the selection that I made. I've gone through the entire process, but I'll show you again this side on how to do it. For example, that's the selection that I made, right? So to go through with it, what you need to do is under preview, you need to select the play button. So it will look like that, right? When it plays through, it will look like that. As it's doing this, what you need to do is check where it makes mistakes, right? As it's scrubbing through, showing you what's selected and so on until the very end, up until there. If you notice there's a mistake, what you can do is just stop it right there, and then you can zoom back in onto the area where you notice maybe like there's a mistake, and you fix it by either pressing Alt to remove certain parts, or by just highlighting the area that you feel it is not selected properly. Another way you can do it is by, let's say the point that you want has already passed, you just press Ctrl on your keyboard and you select the back arrow key. So when you select the back arrow key, it will go backwards, just like that. So this is me basically going backwards. Or you can move it forward using the forward arrow. Then from there, once you reach the end of the clip and you find that everything is selected properly, there aren't any issues, what you're going to do is hit this button that says freeze. Then again, After Effects will take a little bit of time to freeze all the frames of the clip, and after that there won't be any issues at all in terms of allowing you to edit. Because if you don't do that and you go back to the composition of your video, you will find that After Effects will not allow you to edit that any further, and you might lose the work that you have made a progress on. Only do this once you are happy with the entire selection. It is a little bit time consuming, I mean, and it requires a person to have patience when they are doing this, and it will also depend on the type of computer you're using, how powerful it is, and so on. So yeah, basically that's how I just go about doing this. It requires a lot of patience. So in my case, for now, let's stop it there because I've already done this progress. For you, the person who's watching this, you have to go through with it entirely, and when you're done, like I said, press freeze and allow After Effects to do its work. And once it's done, completely done, you can come back under composition right here. So under composition, it will look like this. So it means your final project, when you play it through, you'll be moving just like that, and in my case I just move out. Then from here onwards, if everything is looking great as you want it to look and you are happy with how your clip looks, you can export the clip out of After Effects by just pressing Ctrl M, and then here down at the bottom you just select where it says not yet specified. A dialog box will appear onto your screen, and you can type in the name of your clip. We'll call it Going Under, and we can hit save. And once you've hit save, you just select where it says render, and your clip will be exported. And once it's done exporting, you can go to where it has been saved and take it back and put it inside of Premiere Pro and finish editing your work. That is going to be it in today's video. And yeah, before I close off, I just want to say there are many ways of implementing that kind of style into your video project. It's all about learning the first few steps, then you can add other creative elements to it. So practice makes things perfect. Before I go, don't forget to check out all the links in the description box below of this video, including the link to the music that I use, which is by Epidemic Sound, in order for you to get your 30 days for free, as well as the links to my website, including links to my socials. Everything is in the description box below. Until next time, when I come up with another either vlog or tutorial, from me, David, cheers for now.